Chosen one, stop scrolling. Last night, while you sat alone in your kitchen at 2 a.m., holding that coffee cup with both hands just to feel something warm, heaven pressed rewind. They replayed the footage. Every moment, every sacrifice, every time you stayed when leaving would have been easier. And I need you to hear this. Heaven wasn't shocked that you got hurt. Heaven stood in absolute awe at how you loved without losing your soul. Listen to me. If you've got grey in your hair and wounds in your heart, if you loved someone so deeply it cost you sleep, dignity, maybe even years of your life, if you're sitting there right now wondering if anyone noticed the way you poured yourself out like water, this message is for you. You thought nobody saw, but heaven's been recording. Every 3 a.m. prayer, every tear you wiped before they woke up, every time you forgave what others would have walked away from. It's all there, archived in eternity. And here's what they're saying in heaven right now. That one loved like Christ. See, most people think love is butterflies and candlelight. But you know love is staying when the butterflies die. Love is choosing them again on the days you don't even like them. Love is becoming a well-worn Bible, pages stained, edges torn, but still held together by grace. If that's you, type it right now. It's me. Let heaven see you're still standing. Before we go further, thank you to every soul who has supported this message through super thanks. You're not just giving, you're sowing seeds into someone's darkest night. Whether you support or not, your presence here matters. Your time, your attention. If this word resonates, go ahead and let that be between you and God. Now listen close. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact moment heaven stood to its feet. The moment angels stopped singing just to watch you. The moment God himself leaned forward on his throne because of the way you loved your soulmate. You've been carrying this question. Did I love too much? Did I waste my years? No, chosen one. You didn't love too much. You loved like you were made in the image of a God who bled for people who didn't deserve it. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see every scar, every sleepless night, every moment you thought was wasted. You weren't just loving a person. You were showing heaven what covenant looks like wrapped in human skin. Now let me take you somewhere most people never see. There's a courtroom in heaven. Right now. And your name just got called. God himself sits as judge, not to condemn you, to validate you. Angels line the walls as witnesses. And on the table marked exhibitor sits every single moment you thought nobody noticed. The case, the way you loved your soulmate. Here's what's on the record. That Tuesday night you stayed up until 4 a.m. praying for someone who wouldn't even speak to you the next morning. Recorded. The time you found out about the betrayal and still chose to forgive quietly instead of exposing them to everyone who would taken your side. Stamped and sealed. Every dinner you cooked when you were exhausted. Every bill you paid when they were careless. Every time you covered their mistakes, protected their reputation, blessed them in private even after they cursed you in public. All of it. Archived in eternity. And here's what breaks me. While the world called you foolish, heaven called you faithful. You've been sitting with this question for months, maybe years. Did I waste my love on someone who didn't deserve it? Let me answer that with scripture. 1 Corinthians 13:8 says, love never fails, not love never gets hurt. Not love always gets reciprocated. It says love never fails. Because real love isn't measured by what you got back. It's measured by what you gave when there was nothing left to give. You loved like Christ loved. And Christ loved people who spit in his face. That's not weakness, chosen one. That's covenant written in your DNA. Listen to me carefully. Heaven didn't stand in awe because you were perfect. Heaven stood in awe because after everything you endured, your heart didn't turn to stone. You had every biblical right to walk away. You had every human reason to build walls and never let anyone in again. But you didn't. You chose softness in a world that rewards hardness. And every tear you cried, those weren't wasted either. Psalm 56, 8 says God keeps them in a bottle. Your tears became ink on the official record of your life. Heaven stamped it, evidence of crest-like love. Now here's where this gets powerful. In just a few minutes, I'm going to reveal 3 ways God is about to respond to the way you loved. The third one is going to shatter everything you thought about your wasted years. But don't click away. We need to walk through this whole case together. Because when heaven played back your love story, they didn't see failure. They saw someone who loved without a manual, without applause, without guarantee. They saw someone who stayed when staying meant bleeding. And that kind of love doesn't go unrewarded. So I'm asking you right now, are you ready to see what heaven saw? Now let me tell you something most preachers won't say out loud. You've been calling yourself a failure. You've been replaying every argument, every time you stayed too long, every moment you begged them to see you. And in your mind, you've labeled it all as weakness. But heaven has a different word for it. Covenant, listen to me. You're not some lovesick fool. You're a senior citizen who loved through sickness and hospital waiting rooms at 4 a.m. You loved through financial storms when the bills stacked higher than hope. You loved through raising kids who didn't understand why mama kept forgiving daddy. You loved through funerals, through chemotherapy, through decades when it would have been easier to walk away. That's not desperation. That's the kind of love Christ showed when he stayed on that cross. Let me draw a line for you right now, because the enemy has been blurring it in your mind. Desperate love chases. Soulmate love prays. Desperate love clings to control. Soulmate love lifts them to God. Desperate love manipulates and begs. Soulmate love protects and respects boundaries even when it hurts. Did you make mistakes? Probably. Did you stay too long? Sometimes, maybe. But here's what heaven saw. The core of your love was sacrificial, not manipulative. You weren't trying to own them. You were trying to love them the way God loves you. Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." That doesn't say love them when it's convenient. It says give yourself up, and you did. You weren't a doormat. You were a door God used to let grace walk into their life. You weren't weak. You were a quiet lighthouse when they were lost at sea, and you stayed lit even when the storms tried to blow you out. Now here's what I need you to understand. You didn't fail at love. You passed a test most people never even sit for. Most folks run at the first sign of trouble, but you stayed in the fire, and that fire didn't destroy you. It refined you into pure gold. Before this video ends, I'm going to show you how God is about to honor that kind of love in ways you didn't see coming. I'm going to reveal what heaven has been preparing while you've been sitting there thinking you wasted your years. But right now I need you to do something. Drop a simple confession in the comments. I loved with my whole heart. Say it. Let heaven hear you claim it. Let the angels mark your name down as someone who loved like Christ, even when it cost everything. Because what comes next in your story isn't punishment for loving too much. It's reward for loving like God does. You want to know what heaven replays on repeat. It's not the wedding day. It's not the honeymoon. It's not the Instagram moments everyone saw. It's the Tuesday morning you helped them out of bed when their knees wouldn't work anymore. The moment you tied their shoes because arthritis had stolen their grip. The night you changed their bandages at 3 a.m. while they slept, whispering prayers over wounds they didn't even know you saw. Heaven stood to its feet for that. Listen, chosen one. While the world applauds romance, heaven archives sacrifice. While people celebrate passion, God leans forward for covenant. And you've been living out love that most people only preach about on Sunday mornings. You kept their secrets when exposing them would set you free. You shielded their shame when the whole neighborhood was whispering. 1 Corinthians 13:7 says love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. That's not poetry. That's your Tuesday. You drove them to doctor's appointments you couldn't afford. You cooked meals on days you could barely stand. You prayed for their mind, not just their behavior. You asked God to heal what was breaking them, even when what was breaking them was breaking you. And here's what wrecks me. You prayed for them to find peace, even if that peace meant they'd leave you. That's not human love, that's divine. You were the nurse of their soul, not just their partner. You became a quiet hymn in their storm when everyone else was thunder. You didn't demand they change. You held space while God did the changing. Heaven recorded every moment you bit your tongue instead of firing back. Every night you forgave them before they even asked. Every time you chose to stay when your friends said run. You thought nobody noticed. But angels stopped mid-flight just to watch you love like that. Now let me tell you something that's going to shake you. There's a reason you couldn't fully walk away, even when everyone told you to. Even when logic screamed. Even when your own body begged for rest. I'm going to explain that reason in just a moment, and when you hear it, everything is going to make sense. But right now, if even one of these moments sounds like your story, don't you dare scroll away. This is heaven's thank you letter to you. This is God saying, I saw it all and I'm about to respond. You thought those years were wasted. You thought that love was for nothing. You thought God was silent while you suffered. But heaven did notice. Heaven has been taking notes, and heaven is not done responding. The question you need to ask yourself right now is this. If heaven has been watching you love this way your entire life, what do you think heaven is preparing to release back to you? Stay with me, because what's coming next will show you why every tear mattered. Let's just tell the truth. You're sitting there right now asking yourself the question you're terrified to say out loud. Did I throw away my best years on the wrong person? And here's the part that cuts deepest. You're not 25 anymore. You can't just dust yourself off and start fresh like some motivational poster promises. You've got grey hair. You've got a body that aches in places it didn't used to. You've got decades behind you and maybe not that many ahead. So when you ask, did I waste my life? That's not drama, that's math. That's the raw arithmetic of looking at the calendar and wondering if there's enough time left to ever feel whole again. I know what you're feeling. You feel like a house after a fire. The walls are still standing, but everything inside burned charred. Ash where furniture used to be. Smoke stains where pictures hung. And the worst part, you did it to yourself, didn't you? You forgave. You gave them chance after chance. So now you're not just heartbroken, you're angry at yourself. Why didn't I leave sooner? Why did I believe their promises? Was I just too stupid to see the truth? Stop. Listen to me. Of course you feel that way. You're human. You loved with a human heart that bleeds when it breaks. But here's what you need to understand. God never wastes a sacrificial love. Never. 1 Corinthians 15:58 says your labor in the Lord is never in vain. Not sometimes. Not usually. Never. That word you kept speaking over them when they were spiraling. Not wasted. Those nights you prayed instead of walked out. Not wasted. The dignity you maintained when they gave you every reason to lose it. Not wasted. You feel used, but God saw you being refined. You feel foolish, but heaven saw you being faithful. You think you're standing in the ruins of your life, but God is the architect who looks at that burnt-down structure and says, I can build something even stronger here. Now, if this word is hitting your heart right now, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button so this message finds another tired soul who needs to hear it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, not just to a channel, but to a season where God keeps speaking life into your story. Because here's the truth they don't tell you in church. You didn't waste your life. You invested it in love. And God always pays attention to his investors. Every tear you cried, bottled. Psalm 56:8. Every sacrifice you made, recorded. Every moment you chose love when hate would have been easier, witnessed by heaven itself. You're not too old. You're too valuable to stay buried in regret. So here's the question heaven is asking you right now. Are you ready to let me show you what I saw while you thought nobody was watching? Chosen one. Listen to me right now. Heaven didn't just watch you love. Heaven recorded it. And now God is about to respond in 3 ways that will absolutely shake your life. First, God is healing you. Not them, not the relationship. You, your self-worth that got trampled into the dirt. Your mind that replays every conversation at 3 a.m. Your body that's been carrying stress like a 50-pound weight on your chest for years. Isaiah 61:3 says he gives beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. You've been living like a permanent backup plan, like you're lucky if someone tolerates you, like your love wasn't enough. Stop that right now. God is restoring your standards. He's giving you boundaries you didn't have before. You're about to walk differently, talk differently. You won't beg anymore. You won't shrink anymore. You won't accept crumbs when God called you to feast at tables. The healing isn't just emotional. It's spiritual surgery. He's cutting off every toxic pattern, every lie you believed about yourself, every place where you confused suffering with love. Second, God is vindicating your love, not as revenge, as truth revealed. Right now people think you were desperate, codependent, foolish for staying so long. But Psalm 37:6 says, He will bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday. That means one day, maybe soon, people will see who you really were in that relationship. They'll see you weren't weak. You were covenant. You weren't blind, you were faithful. Even your soulmate will look back one day and realize what they had, what they lost, who you really were when their world was falling apart and you were the only one still standing there. You won't need to defend yourself. The truth will do it for you. Third, God is redeeming the story. Now hear me carefully. Redemption looks different for different people. For some of you, it's restoration. That relationship coming back, but this time healthier, whole, rebuilt on God's foundation. For others, it's a brand new companion in your later years. Someone who sees your scars and calls them beautiful. Someone who knows how to love you back. And for some, it's deep, unshakable peace in singleness, surrounded by spiritual family. Walking in purpose, so strong you stop looking for someone to complete you. Romans 8:28 promises, all things work together for good to them that love God. All things, even the betrayal, even the years you think you wasted, even the nights you cried yourself to sleep. God is rewriting the G-piece of your life. The destination didn't change. Only the road did. Your love was a seed. And God is bringing you into harvest season. Now, in the next few minutes, I'm going to speak directly to 3 groups: the widowed, the divorced, and the ones still technically together but emotionally alone. One of these is you. Stay with me until the prayer at the end. Something breaks off you there. Because here's the declaration I need you to hear. Heaven stood in awe when you loved. Now heaven is moving on your behalf. Now I need to speak to 3 different people in this room. And I want you to listen carefully, because heaven sees you exactly where you are. First, to the widowed. You loved them until their last breath. Heaven saw the way you sat by that hospital bed at 3 a.m., holding their hand even when they couldn't squeeze back. You whispered prayers over a body that was already half in eternity. You stayed when everything in you wanted to run from the pain. Listen to me. Your soulmate is safe in the arms of Christ right now. And your love story, it didn't end. It just changed realms. What you built together is not buried 6 feet under. It's written in the book of life. And God is going to honor every sleepless night, every sacrificial choice, every moment you chose love over comfort. The Bible says in Psalm 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, not near, close, like breath on your neck. He's been standing in your kitchen when you cry into the coffee they used to drink. He's been in the empty chair at the dinner table, and he's about to surround you with peace and companionship in ways you can't imagine yet. Now to the divorced, to the ones left behind. They walked out, but God didn't. Hear me clearly. Your value is not measured by how they treated you. Your love doesn't become fake just because they couldn't handle the weight of it. You gave everything, and they chose the door. That's not on you. That's on them. Malachi 2:16 says, God hates divorce, not you, not the victim, the breaking. And if you're sitting there feeling like damaged goods, like a crumpled receipt nobody wants, stop it right now. You're not the leftover piece at the end of the puzzle. You're the corner piece God needed to keep the whole picture stable. But here's what you have to do. Forgive, not for them, for you. Release that bitterness before it becomes a prison. Isaiah 43:18 says, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. God is doing something new. But you can't walk into it with their ghost on your back. And finally, to the ones still together but alone. You sleep next to someone who feels like a stranger. You share a bed, a mortgage, maybe even grandkids, but you haven't had a real conversation in months. You're married, but you're lonely. And nobody talks about this kind of pain because it doesn't make sense on paper. I see you. Heaven sees you. Your heart has stretch marks from carrying love that never got returned the same way. And I'm telling you right now, pray for their heart, yes, but reclaim your own identity in God first. You are not defined by their coldness. You are chosen. You are seen. You are deeply, wildly loved by the Father. 3 different stories, same truth. Heaven stood in awe of the way you loved. And in the next part, I'm going to ask you to do something bold, something that might feel impossible. I'm going to ask you to put your love story back in God's hands. That's where the real shift begins. If you feel safe, tight which group you're in, widowed, divorced, or still together but alone, we're praying over you right now. Chosen one, we walk through every frame of your love story tonight. Heaven watched. Heaven stood in awe. But now comes the hardest part. It's time to let go. Not because what you did was wrong, not because you loved too much, but because you were never meant to carry this weight alone. Right now, I want you to do something. Close your eyes for just a moment. Picture that person, their face, a voice, the way they used to look at you before everything changed. Now imagine every memory you share with them as a letter. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every time you forgave the unforgivable, every year you poured out like oil, it's all written there, ink stained with tears, pages bent from being held too tightly. You've been gripping that letter for years, decades maybe, reading it over and over, wondering if you should written it differently. But tonight, heaven is asking you to seal it and give it back to the author. Listen to me. God never asked you to carry your love story like a cross. He already carried the cross so you wouldn't have to. 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you, not some of it, all of it. The good memories and the haunting ones, the what-ifs and the why didn't I's. You've been standing at the altar of your own pain for too long. You've been both the priest and the sacrifice. And God is saying, step down. Let me take over. Right now, wherever you are, I want you to place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating. That heart has carried too much for too long. And I want you to pray with me. Not out loud if you can't. Just whisper it in your spirit. Lord, I give you the years I poured out. Every sunrise I woke up fighting for us. Every midnight I cried alone. I release it all to you. I forgive where I was hurt. I forgive the words that cut deeper than any blade. I forgive the silences that screamed louder than arguments. I forgive myself for staying too long or leaving too soon. I bless the one I loved, even if they never blessed me back. Even if they walked away without looking over their shoulder. I release them. I release control. I release the storyline I thought we were supposed to have. Heal me, God. Restore what was stolen. Redeem what felt wasted. Take these fragments and make something beautiful again. Let the tears come, chosen one. Tears aren't weakness. Tears are the sound of something breaking off. You've been carrying a suitcase full of yesterday through every tomorrow. And tonight, you're finally setting it down at heaven's gate. You're not losing. You're resting. Isaiah 61:3 promises beauty for ashes. Not beauty instead of ashes, beauty made from ashes. Your love story isn't being erased, it's being redeemed. If you just surrendered this to God, type it boldly. I release it. That's your public testimony. That's you telling hell you're done being held hostage by what's already gone. And heaven isn't just standing in awe of the way you loved. Heaven is standing in awe of the way you're finally letting God hold what you can't carry anymore. Because what comes next requires empty hands. Chosen one, I need you to sit with this truth for a moment. You were never just loving a man or a woman. You were loving God through them. Every time you wiped their tears, you were washing the feet of Christ. Every time you forgave what shouldn't have been forgiven, you were nailing your pride to the cross. Every single morning you woke up and chose them again, even when your heart was breaking. You were saying yes to the same covenant God makes with us every single day. 1 Corinthians 13 says love is patient, love is kind. But listen to what it doesn't say. It doesn't say love feels good. It doesn't say love is easy. It doesn't say love always gets returned. What you did wasn't romance. It was worship. And heaven has been recording every second. You think your love story ended when they walked away, when they passed, when the divorce papers were signed. No, that's when the real impact began. See, your grandchildren are going to eat fruit from trees you watered with your tears. Your daughter is going to know how to stay in her marriage because she watched you stay in yours. Your son is going to understand forgiveness because he saw you forgive. People you've never met, sitting in pews 50 years from now, are going to inherit spiritual strength because you refused to become bitter. You thought you were just holding their hand during chemo. You were actually gripping the hem of Christ's garment and pulling down healing for generations you'll never see. You thought you were just making dinner after another argument. You were building an altar, brick by brick, meal by meal. I forgive you by I forgive you. Ephesians 5:25 says, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. But here's what nobody tells you, that kind of love costs everything. Christ bled. You bled too. And just like his blood didn't hit the ground and disappear, neither did yours. Every sacrifice you made is currency in heaven's economy. Every tear you cried in secret is stored in heaven's bottles. Psalm 56:8 says God keeps track of every single one. So let me tell you what heaven's verdict is. You are not a romantic failure. You are a spiritual success. You didn't lose. You won in a way this world will never understand. Because while everyone around you was chasing happiness, you were chasing holiness. And holiness always costs more. But it also pays more. The rest of your life will not be defined by heartbreak. It will be defined by harvest. You've been in the sowing season long enough. Galatians 6:9 says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Chosen one, you didn't give up, and now the harvest is coming. I'm talking about peace that doesn't make sense. Joy that shows up in your kitchen on a Tuesday morning for no reason. Friendships that feel like family. Grandchildren who sit on your lap and say, tell me about Grandpa again, and you realize the story isn't sad anymore, it's sacred. God is about to give you years that feel like reward, not punishment. Rest that feels like grace, not loneliness. And a testimony so heavy with glory that people half your age will ask you, how did you survive that and still smile? But here's what I need you to do right now. Don't disappear. Don't let this word fall through the cracks of your week. Hit that subscribe button. Stay connected to this little online church family God is putting together, because there are more words coming for you. Words about the new season. Words about the doors opening. Words about the vindication that's already in motion. And when this video ends, I need you to watch the next message I've linked. It's about what God does after a lifetime of faithful love. It's about the suddenly of God, the unexpected turnarounds, the late-in-life miracles. Now let me pray a blessing over you like I'm sitting right across from you at your kitchen table. Father, I speak rest over this one. Rest in their bones, rest in their mind, rest in their memories. I declare their sleep will be sweet and their mornings will carry hope. I bless their heart. Let it beat strong. Let it soften where bitterness tried to harden it. Let it expand to receive the love they gave away for so long. I bless their body. Every ache, every pain, every scar from the weight they carried, turn it into testimony. Let their physical strength return as a sign that their spiritual strength never left. I bless their remaining years. Let them be marked not by regret but by reward, not by loneliness but by legacy, not by what they lost but by what they gained in glory. And I declare this over their future. The latter will be greater than the former. The end will be more beautiful than the beginning. And the best chapter is being written right now. Chosen one, heaven stood in awe of the way you loved your soulmate. And now, heaven is standing with you for the rest of your story.